Stress. It's been branded as a killer. The fuel for almost every major illness we can fall victim to, both physical and mental. We're told we need to eliminate it from our lives and become Zen masters. We're painted pictures of a stress-free life that can be achieved through meditation, mindfulness, and other stress-busting hacks from the endless conveyor belt of wellness gurus. But you know what? That's all lies. Despite what you've been told, stress is one of the most important things that you need in your life. And today's video is going to explain why we've misunderstood stress and why eliminating it is actually one of the worst things you could possibly do if you want to be as happy, healthy, and productive as possible. So here's the history lesson on stress that none of us got. There are actually two different kinds of stress. First up, the kind we're all familiar with, distress. This is bad stress, the one that causes us to feel panicky, nauseous, and like the world is closing in on us. But there's a second kind, one pretty much no one has ever heard of, eustress. This is positive. It's stress that actually makes us feel more alive, focused, and energized. Now the interesting thing is that distress and eustress both cause a number of similar changes in our bodies. They increase our heart rate, perhaps give us a rush of blood to the head, and a sense of butterflies in our stomach. The problem lies in how we think about stress. The reason most of us believe stress is awful and something to be avoided is because of the appraisals we make of stress, or in other words, the beliefs we hold about stressors, those demands that are placed on us, the things that make us feel stress in the first place, whether it's a job interview, a big presentation, or sporting performance. Because most people have been told their whole lives that stress is bad, they end up making what are termed threat appraisals. In other words, seeing the thing that causes you stress as a threat, something debilitating, and that your stress response is a panic button in which the body and mind are self-imploding due to the demands being placed upon you. But what a very small proportion of people do, particularly those who thrive under pressure, is instead make challenge appraisals. In other words, they see the thing causing them stress as a challenge, something to overcome, and that their body's stress response is fueling them with what they need to overcome it. So doesn't that just mean some situations automatically lead to different appraisals? Well, no. There's a fantastic study conducted by Alison Woods Brooks from Harvard Business School to demonstrate that incredibly nerve-wracking situations can be very simply reappraised, and this can have amazing impacts on performance. She recruited a group of participants for a study in which they were unaware of what they had to do. She then revealed that they would be taking part in a karaoke task in which they would have to sing Don't Stop Believing on a Nintendo Wii game in front of a random researcher. Obviously a task anyone is going to find stressful. And the participants were then separated into three groups. Group 1, who were asked to read aloud a statement on a card before they started singing, which read, I am nervous. Group 2, who were also asked to read aloud a statement on a card before they started singing, but theirs read, I am excited. And Group 3 was a control group who didn't have to read anything aloud before singing. Their singing of the song was then objectively measured by a computer software which recorded their volume, pitch, and note accuracy. The no statement group scored an average of 69.27%. The anxious group scored an average of 52.98%. And the excited group scored an average of 80.52%. So what these results demonstrate is that it's not stress or a stressful situation itself that is the problem, but it's actually how we label that stressful event, and how very simple changes in language, in some cases just one word, can have a significant impact on how we feel stress and how we respond to it. Now, this doesn't mean we should label absolutely every stressful situation that we face as exciting. There are some situations that are quite rightly defined and interpreted as distress and true threats to our well-being, our happiness, and our safety. But there are a lot of situations that are stressful but trivial stresses that we can very easily change our interpretation of them so that we can better handle them. These are often situations that are, one, not actually that stressful when you really break them down, and two, actually fantastic opportunities for personal growth and development. And those who end up thriving in the exam room, the boardroom, or the locker room are not individuals who experience any less stress than the rest of us. They just make a conscious effort to perceive stressful situations as more of a challenge rather than a threat. And because of this, they end up invariably feeling that sense of eustress, the more positive kind of stress. When it really comes down to it, stress is a sign that you care, that something needs to change or be done. And your stress response is the fuel that enables you to achieve that. If you use stress correctly, then it facilitates rather than debilitates. So this stress-free life that you've been told to aspire towards is 1, impossible, and 2, undesirable. Without stress, you lose the will to live. Life is stressful. Our jobs are demanding, our relationships need constant effort and work, and it's difficult to maintain all kinds of behaviors and habits that keep us healthy, both physically and mentally. But this is not something we should shy away from. And don't get me wrong, chronic stress is a real problem. That stress that is long-term and never-ending. And we all need to be able to learn how to mentally detach and switch off at the end of every day. And I have made a previous video on that, so do check that out, I think, here. But when it comes down to it, acute stressors, those daily small stressors that we all face, are actually helpful for us. We just need to learn how to embrace them more and use the facilitative power of stress. And if we learn to do that, then stress, in more cases than not, will be more helpful than it is harmful. Thanks very much for watching. If you found the video helpful, then please do give it a thumbs up. And if you want more videos on how to manage stress better and level up your mental performance, then do hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.